What's up, Steeples? This new banning, we got a whole new meta change and a whole new meta shift. So let's get right to it and see how this tier list looks now. Viserai. This is our first one. And by the way, it's not your screen. It's not your computer screen. It is just kind of how this is. It's pixelated. Sorry for that. Okay, Viserai. Viserai gets a bit of a bump. Icelander leaving the meta is pretty big for him. So Viserai gets a little bit of a bump. I don't think he's A tier yet though, and he's certainly not S tier. I would say I'm happy to put him in B tier. I don't think he's the best rune played out there. I still think that's Briar. But his matchups are a little easier now with Oldhim and Icelander getting huge hits. Now let's talk about Azalea. Azalea loses Oldhim, but I think Bravo is going to fill that void. Icelander is hurt but not dead. So Azalea, sorry to say, is still going to be in the C tier for me. She's not F tier anymore, so there's at least that. And I'm sure Outsiders is going to help bump her up. Dash. Dash is S tier for me, like straight up. I honestly thought Dash was A tier before the banning. I thought it was Dash, Icelander, and Oldhim as the best heroes. With Oldhim and Icelander being S tier and Dash being A+ tier. But now I think Dash matchup and Icelander just got so much better. Dash doesn't have to play against Oldhim anymore. And can kind of devote more to beat mid-range decks. She still has to worry about Bravo, which can be a little hard, but she has the pistol package. She can make it work. So I think, honestly, we're going to see a lot of Dash in the future. Okay, so Dromai is pretty interesting here. Dromai, Icelander was a preferred matchup. So Icelander's still around. Oldhim, as an Oldhim player, I never lost against Dromai. So I think she actually gained big benefit against one of her toughest matchups. I think she's kind of in between A and B tier right now. I think we're going to see a bit of a bump. She definitely got a lot better with Fai losing a lot of pieces. So I think the right build of Dromai can get her to A tier. But I think it's going to take a while for that build to come out. So I'm going to put her at B tier for now. But I think she's really in between B and A. Okay, so Icelander used to be here. This used to be her home. I think she's at A tier now. I think she's still going to be effective, but just not as effective. She's going to be able to beat a lot of matchups, but not all matchups anymore. Kano's toughest matchups were Fai and Icelander. Both of them got nerfed. I don't think he's A tier yet either, though. I think he's a pretty solid B tier. A good Kano player can probably play him at A tier, but I think he's just a solid B for sure. Lexi gets a bit of a bump just because Icelander took a bit of a dip, as well as Oldhim, which was actually the tougher matchup. So I think we could see a lot of Lexi here in the future. I think here again, I think she's really in between B and A, but I'm going to give her the nod for A because I think we might even see a more aggro Lexi build come out. Oldhim was here at S tier, but the banning didn't put him at A tier, didn't put him at B tier. I honestly think he's C tier now. And the reason is it could be looked as an overreaction, and I hope it is. But when a hero LLs, they take their weapon with them because it really works together very well. So when you ban a weapon, you kind of ban a hero. And I think that's what we're seeing here with Oldhim. And that's why I think he's at C tier. I don't think he's the worst. I think he's still playable. But now Briar, I think Briar just made her way to S tier. Her Icelander matchup is by far the hardest, but it got a bit easier. Icelander lost 2 big cards against Briar. So now you give Briar a few Oasis Respites in their side. And I think Briar is the aggro deck. I think it's her and Dash for sure. Oldhim's no longer around to give Briar any trouble. I think it's Briar time. Runeblade. And I think she's going to LL right before Outsiders for sure. Boltyn. Boltyn actually got a bump. Boltyn actually got a huge bump. Hypothermia going away, huge. Oldhim going away, huge. Those were his 2 toughest matchups. You know, personally, I'm a Boltyn guy. I want to put him at A. but I'm just not sure. I know I can comfortably put him at B. This is early on, but I don't know, man. It just seems like Boltyn's in a good position to win. Icelander is still there, so you still want to run E-Pots, and you still want to try to get around Blizzard with Spirit Iron. But yeah, I think personally I want to see Boltyn right here, but I think that's a lot of confirmation bias from myself, and I think most people would have Boltyn here at B. Okay, so moving on. Levia, or Levia, depending on what you want to say. She didn't really gain or lose anything with this new bannings. I think she's okay. I think Fai going away makes things a little easier, but Briar's being an S tier, I think it's going to make things harder. So I'm going to put her at C tier because I think with the incursion of Briar, that's one of her roughest matchups. Rhinar in the same way. I do think Bravo's going to get a bit of a bump, so I'm going to put him at B tier because at least one of his good matchups is going to be more prevalent in the meta, as well as Icelander is still around in the meta. So the intimidate factor, I think, gets him up to B tier. I don't necessarily think he's at A tier quite yet, though. Now, Bravo, I think Bravo is at A tier. I think Bravo is the new Guardian to play, and I think he can be big enough to deal with Icelander, defensive enough to deal with Briar and Lexi, and then just has to race dash as far as damage goes. And he does have big damage, so it's very possible. Okay, so Arachne, I actually think Arachne got a bit hurt from the bannings, only because I think Icelander was a decent matchup for Arachne. And now Icelander is less prevalent in the meta. So I think Arachne is still going to be at the F tier. Maybe Arachne gets a C tier, but I need to see it first because truly I just don't. Dorinthea. I think Dorinthea gained a little bit because her Icelander matchup got a little bit better, but Icelander is still in the meta and still will mess with Dorinthea. So I will put her at a B tier, almost maybe even a C tier, just because Fai was really prevalent in the meta and that's what she did very good against. But now that that's gone, what's she gonna beat now? Like, Bravo's a tough matchup, Icelander can still be tough, and then these three can still be tough for her. So I think I personally would probably put her a little closer to C. But I do think she's better than these heroes, so I'll keep her at B. Okay, Fai. Fai is not an S anymore, and I think he's in between A and B. I think there's going to be still Fai players out there. I don't think Fai is just absolutely dead, but he took a huge hit. I think he might be closer to B than A, just because of what we're looking at in the top here. I mean, Briar is going to raise, Dash is going to raise. Bravo has on-hit effects that hurt Fai. Icelander can still disrupt Fai even without the hypodermic aim device. And then Lexi, if Lexi gets bigger in the meta, which I do believe she will be, that's another bad matchup for Fai. So I think Fai actually might be taking a backseat. And I think he's going to join his ninja brother here. I think Katsu gets maybe a little bit of a bump now that Oldhim's gone. You can't just get Rampart and Crown of Seeds or Kadachis. So I think Katsu get a bit of a bump, but I don't think he's A tier, and I don't think he's C tier either. So I think this is exactly where I want him. And I think this is it, guys. I think this is the new meta. Again, sorry for the quality of the image. That's just the site. I try to get better ones anyways. But this is what we're working with. This is what I predict we'll see in the calling at Indy and any callings or Battle Harden's before the new Outsiders set. So this is your armory meta for you. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll keep on producing, but until then, keep on fapping. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this shirt or the others we have just like it, we sell shirts and keychains and more to come. Go to fleshandbaubles.com, enter the promo SNEEP, and you get 10% off your entire order. Some really cool stuff, some really cool gift ideas. We would really appreciate your help supporting us. Thank you.